So, you find yourself on the UnrealEntGaming channel. How fortunate for you. I, Lord Frieza, will spare your life as long as you subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, don't forget to become a member of UnrealEntGaming's Patreon for tons of exclusive content to early access media and much more. Do it now, or else.
So as the final battle against the third eye wielding King Gomah now continues to ensue inside of Demon Realm number 1, despite the fact of having to witness an absolutely legendary moment occur with Goku and said company, with our heroes' backs now up against the wall yet again against King Gomah, we have now officially reached the climax of Dragon Ball Daima's most intense and epic battle thus far within its series, as I want to welcome you all to my Dragon Ball Daima anime episode number 19 review. And man oh man, what another legendary episode this was, from start to finish, as this immediately had went as far as to kick things off right from where we left off with the Dragon Porunga having to be summoned, aka Shenron according to Bulma, in which as expected we get to finally see how Glorio had gone as far as to make the wish in reverting all of our heroes back to their adult forms, and as they did, not only do we get to see adult Goku again, not only do we get to see adult Vegeta again, adult Piccolo, but they're all now fully healed during the midst of battle as well, so that is inevitably a good thing to see all of our heroes back to full power, back to full strength, back to their full adult forms from the very beginning. And this is where things began to pick up even more so, as Vegeta had volunteered in having to battle against King Gomah first, and this goes as far as to make a world of difference. This actually makes a gigantic difference, because there is nothing now that's holding our heroes back at bay, especially in having to go as far as to see our heroes be put in this position to where they're forced to be miniature sized, but instead, the moment they end up becoming adults is when we get to see how Vegeta was the first one to volunteer and having to battle against King Gomah. And I like how King Gomah really didn't have any fear in kind of going as far as to mock our heroes, by even going as far as to insinuate that even while as adults, they still stand no chance in having to stop him. But it turns out that Vegeta, even while in his base form, mind you, adult Vegeta in his base form, was able to do some form of damage to King Gomah by comparison to when he was a miniature-sized fighter, and that really goes as far as to say a lot by how much stronger our heroes are as adults by comparison to being smaller, to which the battle in and of itself involving Vegeta had later led him into becoming an adult Super Saiyan 3, which was phenomenal to finally see happen, because to see Vegeta transition and make that change in going from a Super Saiyan to a Super Saiyan 2 and then finally into a Super Saiyan 3 mid-flight was it absolutely spectacular to see, because again, this was something that a lot of us were dying to see way back when during the events of Dragon Ball Z. So to see his overall transformation initiation go down within the Demon Realm and watching him literally blow away the landscape below was spectacular, which I've gone as far as to praise the show by saying that its animation, its fluidity, its art style, its effects, everything has been consistent, and there is no doubt about the fact that Vegeta's transformation against Gomah was also spectacular, and to see Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta lay the beats on him was also great, because once again, this is the stark difference between what they were as miniature-sized fighters when compared to adults, as Vegeta was giving it to Gomah, so much so to which every single time he was pouncing him around, we get to see the shockwaves of each and every single one of Vegeta's hits be ricocheted off of Gomah's body from behind, which was spectacular, and to see the way he was fighting him by having to keep his arms crossed was another really awesome thing. So for those of you out there who are going to be saying, oh man, what about Vegeta? He didn't get Super Saiyan 4. Who cares? He was whooping Gomah as a Super Saiyan 3, and you got to appreciate the level of authenticity by them allowing for Vegeta to still feel special even as a Super Saiyan 3. So they didn't really go as far as to job him out, because they also went as far as to showcase how strong Gomah was with the third eye intact, which is a significant game changer within this overall battle, which they even went as far as to showcase Gomah becoming even more more so, far bigger than how he was showcased being prior, just moments before fighting Vegeta. So it was extremely interesting to see the way Vegeta was fighting against Gomah, because in the beginning Vegeta was on the offense before having to quickly go back on the defense, and that was solely due to the overall fact of how strong Gomah was getting throughout the course of battle and pushing Vegeta back more so than anyone else, as Vegeta by no means was backing down even while he was losing. So I know some people might go, oh well, Vegeta lost, well so did Goku, right? So that just goes as far as to kind of show us how strong Gomah is, which you can't really take anything away from Gomah, because even though Vegeta, after he got dropped, we see his hair fading from black to gold, back from gold to black, there was a clear-cut indication that there was no way that Vegeta was going to be able to keep up this level of stamina and having to go up against Gomah the way he was. As with Goku and Piccolo watching this, it was fairly evident that Goku was noticing that this third eye was what was giving Gomah such a huge amp to begin with, because without that third eye, which was something that Gomah was using to have the advantage in this battle, was this by no means something that he would have been able to get done alone, which surprisingly enough, Dr. Urensu had forced Majin Ku to go as far as to go back and get this gigantic book, which we see him shuffling through these pages, we see how intelligent Ku was, and I really don't like Majin Ku at all, because I will go as far as to say that I don't even like Majin Du at all myself either, by comparison that much when having to look at the two. However, things only had gotten more interesting as the episode had progressed on through, because the moment we get to see how Dr. Urensu had made her presence known once again to everybody, she went as far as to kind of specify more so on what needed to be done in order for this fight against Gomah to kind of cease in its entirety. And so the moment Bulma went as far as to call Vegeta back was when Goku stepped up, and of course when Goku got in the mix, the animation was spectacular. And again, whenever Toei Animation goes as far as to decide to bring Dragon Ball Super back, this is what Broly, this is what Moro, this is what Granola's animation needs to look like. And even though I don't really like Gomah for the sake of him being the villain that he was, seeing him step up and kind of, I guess, go as far as to boast his arrogance towards Goku even after ascending into a Super Saiyan was pretty neat, because this is who Gomah is. But with Goku transitioning from Super Saiyan 1 on over to Super Saiyan 2 and then into Super Saiyan 3, which looked amazing, and then, as of course everyone had expected for Goku to go on and bust out, Super Saiyan 3 Goku ended up powering up in such a way where, again, I have never seen Goku's intensity be this intensely portrayed to the point where he went as far as to tear his shirt off. And I think that aside from maybe the initial Super Saiyan 3 transformation back in Dragon Ball Z and even Ultra Instinct, this has to be one of the most intense and the most absolute extreme levels of transformation that I've ever seen in Dragon Ball, because it was only just upon with Goku having to be shown doing this in transitioning from Super Saiyan 3 on over to Super Saiyan 4, we finally get to see for the very first time in Dragon Ball Daima the birth of adult Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and man, he looked absolutely phenomenal. And again, credit goes out to the animation, to the staff behind all of this to begin with, because they could have ultimately had went as far as to make this look like absolute trash, and they didn't. And the consistency needs to be praised here, because everything about this overall finale, everything about what happened towards the end, which left us off on a massive cliffhanger to begin with, because the cliffhanger ultimately ends up becoming adult Goku transitioning into becoming an adult Super Saiyan 4, and this only now means that going into the finale, going into the final episode of Daima, are we going to see Gomah versus Super Saiyan 4 Goku again? Which during the previews we get to see how intense that is, so I think we can all kind of already maybe sort of assume by now that Super Saiyan 4 Goku is going to absolutely decimate Gomah next week. And hands down for me, 10 out of 10. This was a spectacular episode, just like last week's, but more so here, because not only was this more of a Vegeta moment, not only was this more of a Goku spectacular transition and ascending into a Super Saiyan 4 moment, but everything in regards to this looked so beautiful from start to finish that you ultimately gotta give them respect. And even for Gomah as well as a villain, because to actually see him hold his own, I think was a very good thing. And props goes out to the entire team behind this, because we only have one episode left to go, and that is where things are going to inevitably conclude with Dragon Ball Daima anime episode number 20 next week. But even now, by the end of all of this, I want to go ahead and get your thoughts down in the comment section below in regards to your thoughts and how you you guys felt about Dragon Ball Daima anime episode number 18, especially now that we are literally only one episode away from the finale of Dragon Ball Daima next week, which is pretty crazy to say, but with next week being the final airing of the final episode for Dragon Ball Daima, I want to go ahead and get your thoughts and predictions down below as to what you guys expect to see for this upcoming episode, because this to me once again was unquestionably one of my favorite episodes in Daima. And again, everything about what we've been seeing so far as of late has been great, and although I do really wish that we had something more like this during the early stages, during the beginning of Dragon Ball Daima when it first started, do I only wish it kind of started off similar to this in a way where instead of having this long drawn out build where they're just going about by walking around and having their ship crash a million different times, this I think is great, and I think this is what made the episode and makes these episodes so fun to watch. So again, I want to go ahead and get your thoughts about how you guys feel down in the comment section below, to which again, I want to thank you all so much for watching, everybody. Thank you all so much for your time, to which once more, if you also just so happen to be new to this channel and of course love Dragon Ball and anime, then I do encourage for you all to head on down below and smash that subscribe button, on top of making sure to give this video a big fat thumbs up by smashing that like button down below. Tune back in for more, and with all that being said, I want to thank you all so much for your time, and I'll be seeing each and every single one of you down in the comment section below and in the next video. Take it easy, guys, and have a great day. Peace.
Hello! Did you know that you can stay up to date with the latest Dragon Ball content by simply subscribing to UnrealEntGaming? Also, don't forget to follow on these social media platforms, you sexy son of a bitch. Roshi. Silent Cell. Me and the fans are having a moment. That's right. I know what you want. Extra long, thick Dragon Ball content. Quality reviews with flawless editing. Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You dirty bitch. Roshi, the fuck? God damn it, I need them to subscribe, Cell. And we're demonetized. Yeah, screw it. Let's cut to the video.